Asterisk, asterisk, the echoes of Ravenswood Forest, asterisk, asterisk. In the heart of a small rural village named Bramblewood, there lay a dense and ancient forest known as Ravenswood Forest. The villagers rarely ventured into the forest, for it was said to be cursed. Whispers of ghostly figures and eerie sounds had been part of the village's lore for as long as anyone could remember. One autumn evening, a curious young woman named Laura, a folklore researcher with a keen interest in local legends, decided to explore Ravenswood Forest. Armed with her notebook, camera, and a lantern, she ventured into the forest just as the sun dipped below the horizon, leaving the woods shrouded in twilight. As Laura walked along the forest path, the trees seemed to loom over her, their gnarled branches twisting into eerie shapes in the fading light. The ground was covered in a thick layer of fallen leaves, which crunched under her feet, adding to the forest and settling atmosphere. After some time, Laura came across an old stone archway, partially concealed by ivy and overgrown plants. Intrigued, she stepped through the archway and entered a clearing where a decaying mansion stood, its once grand structure now a ruin. Laura approached the mansion, her lantern casting a warm glow on the broken windows and crumbling walls. Inside, the air was cold and damp, and the remnants of the mansion's past life were evident in the scattered debris and dust-covered furniture. In the center of the grand hall, Laura found a broken grandfather clock. The hands were stuck at midnight, and the pendulum had long ceased to move. On the floor beside the clock lay an old diary, its leather cover worn but intact. Laura picked up the diary and began to read. It belonged to a man named Jonathan Ravenswood, the last member of the Ravenswood family. The diary's pages told the tragic story of love and betrayal. Jonathan had been deeply in love with a young woman named Eleanor. Their love was passionate and genuine, but Jonathan's brother, Robert, harbored jealousy and resentment. Robert was determined to keep Jonathan and Eleanor apart, and he manipulated the situation to drive a wedge between them. One night, during a heated argument, Robert revealed his plan to ruin Jonathan's life, causing Eleanor to flee into the forest in terror. Jonathan, heartbroken and desperate, followed her into the forest, but lost her in the dark. Jonathan's diary detailed his sorrow and regret. Eleanor, I have failed you. I search for you in the darkness, but the forest has claimed you. I am left with nothing but my broken heart and the echoes of your laughter. Laura was deeply moved by Jonathan's story and decided to spend the night in the mansion, hoping to uncover more about Eleanor's fate. As the hours passed, the atmosphere in the mansion grew colder, and Laura began to hear faint echoes of laughter and whispers through the empty halls. At the stroke of midnight, the old grandfather clock chimed, and the room seemed to shiver. Laura saw a faint, ghostly figure of a woman, the flowing gown standing in the doorway of the grand hall. It was Eleanor, her face marked by both sadness and hope. Jonathan, Eleanor's voice was a mere whisper in the cold night air. Laura took a deep breath and approached Eleanor's spirit. Jonathan's story is known to me. I've read his diary, and I understand what happened. Eleanor's ghostly form seemed to waver. I fled into the forest, but I was lost. I have waited for him, hoping that he would find me. Laura spoke softly, hoping to bring closure to the spirits trapped by the past. Jonathan searched for you and regretted not being able to save you. He was heartbroken over your loss. Eleanor's eyes filled with tears. I wish we could have been together. We were meant to be. But fate was cruel. Laura took out a letter she had written as a tribute to Eleanor and Jonathan's lost love. The letter expressed forgiveness and a wish for peace for both of them. She read the letter aloud to Eleanor's spirit. Eleanor and Jonathan, your love was true and pure. The past has been kind to you, and it is time to let go and find peace together. As Laura spoke, the temperature in the room began to rise, and the echoes of laughter and whispers grew faint. Eleanor's spirit began to fade, her sorrowful expression turning into a gentle smile. Thank you, Eleanor said softly. I can now be with Jonathan and leave this place behind. With those words, Eleanor's spirit vanished, and the cold, eerie atmosphere of the mansion lifted. Laura felt a profound sense of peace as the forest seemed to come alive with the gentle rustling of leaves. Laura left Ravenswood Forest with a renewed sense of purpose. She wrote an article about the tragic love story of Jonathan and Eleanor, sharing their story with the world and bringing attention to the beauty of the forgotten forest. The legend of Ravenswood Forest transformed from a tale of darkness and despair into a story of enduring love and the hope of reunion. Laura's work helped preserve the forest's history and ensured that the memory of Jonathan and Eleanor lived on.